Good morning everybody, this is Stephen Howson, this is Full Time Devils and this is your MUFC Daily. Did you watch Leicester last night? Don't look like they're slowing down, do they? They're looking great form. I think they're now 5 points clear. Phenomenal stuff. Right, we've got 4 things for you this morning. The first one is Wayne Rooney's been talking at the launch of our new sponsor, Gulf Oil, yesterday about his knee and how he feels his comeback's coming, and he thinks he's going to be back soon. He's saying that he could come back now, but he's taking it slowly. Clearly got one eye on the Euros here, and looking to make sure that his recovery is complete, and he does manage to see out the summer and there's no sort of setbacks with his injury. And he mentions that he might be back in time for the Everton game, which leads me nicely into yesterday. Obviously the FA Cup draw was made, and should we get through West Ham, which is, let's face it, a pretty tough task, then we face Everton in the FA Cup semi-final draw. Now I think this is really interesting. I think the winner of the FA Cup is coming from our thread of the FA Cup, so this is a great opportunity for us to get a bit of silverware. It's been so long since we've won it, and I for one would love for us to get into the FA Cup, just for a bit of a day out with the lads and have a good time with the FA Cup if we can win one. Doesn't mean we've slipped into Arsenal, that we've regressed, and this is all we can hope for now. It's just, this is what we're faced with this season, and I'll take it if we can get it. Next one that we've got is Chris Smalling's been talking, and he's been talking about Martin Atkinson, and he's been talking about Dimitri Payet's dive at the weekend, and it was a dive. Let's not make two bones about it. The fact that there may have been the slightest bit of contact when you slow it down and go frame by frame doesn't mean anything. Football's a contact sport. Doesn't mean that it's not. Doesn't mean that it is, a foul just because there's contact. There's simulation. He simulated being fouled, so it's a dive. Whether or not once he's already on the floor there might be the slightest bit of contact, doesn't matter. It wasn't a foul, and he simulated it, and it's a yellow card. It's as simple as that for me. And Chris Smalling says almost exactly the same thing. He says, great free kick, but let's face it, it was a second yellow, and maybe he shouldn't have been on the pitch to even take it. And he's right. He dived. He also mentions that people have been getting a lot of yellow cards recently for diving, and that was a dive. And he's bang on. He's absolutely correct. There's no other way to say it, is there? He was absolutely correct that it was a dive, and we're not going to complain about it. It doesn't matter. It does no good constantly going on about him. But I'm only talking about it this morning because Smalling's been speaking about it. It's over. And finally, a little bit of good news for us here now. I'm not sure how we say this guy's name. Ousmane Dembele, 18-year-old forward from Rennes, play on the left, play on the right, play down the middle, very tricky winger, pacey, good level of skill, 18 years old. United have been scouting him by the sounds of it, and so has every other team in Europe. I actually watched the game that he played at weekend on one of the highlight shows, and I did think, because I'd heard the day before that he was one that we'd been scouting, and I did think to myself, I wonder if it's that kid. Looks decent, didn't stand out as anything particularly amazing, but again, it's us looking like we're planning for the future and planning to bring players in. I just hope there's at some stage that we bring in somebody like an Ibrahimovic or a Bale or someone along those lines, because if you keep buying potential all the time, some players will hit their potential, some players won't hit their potential. At the moment, we've got a lot of potential, like right throughout the squad. There's not many players that are at world-class level, or hardly any players that are at world-class level. Not many experienced players. I just think we need a little bit of a blend if we're to progress and go forward. But either way, he looks like a bit of an exciting talent. Didier Deschamps has been talking about him, talking him up as well, saying that he's looking at him for the France squad. So this is a kid with a bright future, I think. So that's what we've had for this morning. Talk to me about... Well, let's have a talk about Leicester as well, because I think it's worthwhile, isn't it? Let's talk about Leicester. Are they winning the league? Are you happy for them to win the league if we're not going to win the league? Because we're not winning the league. Would you rather Leicester over anybody else in the top four? Talk to me about Rooney's injury. Talk to me about Everton in the semi-final. Are you excited about that? Can we even get there? Talk to me about Dembele. Talk to me about Chris Smalling's comments on Payet's dive. Nice one. See you soon. And drop us a subscribe. Help us get to 250,000. Give it a like. You know the drill by now. See you soon.
Hello, welcome back to Full Time Devils. It's me, it's Squawker Dave, and we are back for a 3-point review. This time we're going to be talking about Manchester United versus West Ham United in the FA Cup.